Ooh, ooh, ooh. Looking gothy, looking good. Okay. Hello one, hello all. It is the gothiest ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh, and it's time for a review of King Krule, Space Heavy. King Krule is a musical project fronted by Archie Marshall, and this is their latest release. And they've been at it for quite a while now. They have releasing music for about a decade. And I remember their first album, and I remember enjoying it quite a bit. Maybe not one of my favorites of that year, but what made me a fan was the Man Alive album, which definitely was more focused, definitely had songs on there that were a little more catchy, that actually stuck with me, and opposed to the Ooze, which kind of lacked a song that stuck with you, and definitely all over the place when it came to its focus. I'm sorry. But Man Alive definitely made me a fan and definitely made me want more, because on there, again, they really sharpen their craft on there. And on here, you are still getting the focus. You are still getting the emotional potency, even more than ever on here. Archie really delivers on here. The band really delivers on here. And even though these tracks, a majority of the time, come off short, they're still giving you a lot packed in there. They're finding the impact when it comes to minimalism. They're giving you a little bit, but they're packing a lot in there. I hope that didn't come off as dirty. Like on the track Empty Space Cadet or Our Vacuum, which we will get into in a little bit. But on here, I feel we're getting a detour of Archie's mind. Like we're going into the deepest, grimmest, most troubling time, all in Archie's head. And they're from the deepest corners of his mind, set to track and brought to my ears. So yes, this is still gloomy, this is still bleak, but also emotionally impactful. And Archie's vocals carry so much pain here, so much angst here, and so much sorrow that you can't help but feel it. And also a lot of variation here too, from melancholic Damon Albarn-esque vocals, or Isaac from Black Country New Road, and Sebastian from Viagra Boys, or even Johnny Lydon from Public Image Limited. He's wearing his influences on his sleeve, but he's doing it in a way that is emotionally potent, where he's adding like his own twist to it. And another thing too, as I said before, these tracks definitely are short, but also have like a multifaceted structure to them. Also with this album too, I do feel there is a almost cinematic quality to the flow of it. The song Flimsier has these expanding analog space synths, like on the opener to a movie, and these panoramic set of heavy reverb guitars on there that transitions into these somber set of guitars. And also I love how the blaring bright guitars are just hanging in the right channel, definitely playing with that studio trickery there. Pink Shell opens up with this heavy spiraling reverb bass that transitions into like a smooth bass line. And I love how manic the sax arpeggios get on here and how dramatic the horn passages are. And Archie just sounds more manic than ever on here. Probably the most manic you're gonna hear him on here, with like these sinister bravados that he applies here. And the track Seaforth, which is the longest track on here, has these beautiful, jangly, psychedelic guitars, and also wears a Mac DeMarco influence here, which I did not expect, but given how psychedelic this album is, it's really not so much of a surprise that he would borrow from Mac on this one. The nocturnal Empty Stomach Space Cadet, which, given the title, I would say dabbles in being under the influence, as this album does touch on subjects of substance abuse. And being Empty Stomach Space Cadet, I am assuming that he has taken a hit of the Mary Jane, and he is doing it on an empty stomach, and he is immediately regretting the decision. And again, it's pretty short, but it's still morbidly beautiful in a way. Like, it definitely finds a beauty and morbidity on this track, with these atmospheric woodwinds, shuddering vocal samples, and these very macabre lyrics. And the track has this transcending grand horn melody that definitely complements the track well in terms of the concept. That transitions smoothly into this woozy, forlorn state That transitions smoothly into the next track, Flimsy, which has this very woozy, hypnotic feel to it. That's created by like these reverbed strings that makes me feel like I'm coming down from the high that Archie has just had. Then we go into really weird Tory, sonically and lyrically, on the track Hamburgerphobia, that has the most angular set of drums probably on this whole album, and these heavy sets of bass tones, where he eats a burger and he has this ominous suspicion that all these horrible things are going to happen and goes into a mental state of series of unfortunate events. And I must say, if this is how eating a burger feels nowadays, I'm glad I went vegan. But what about plant-based burgers? I bet you didn't think about those plant-based burgers, did you? No, I honestly didn't think about that. Oh no. We dive more into Archie's mental state on the track From the Swamp, where it sounds like he's adamantly just rejecting alcohol and substance abuse, while also trying to fight depression and fight the urge whenever that arrives. Saying if it's from the swamp, then back it goes. Basically, I feel blacking out pessimistic thoughts as well, while trying to battle depression, but also alcohol abuse as well. At least that's what I'm getting out of it. And I love the transitions here. They're very brief, but they're very powerful. From the dreamy, jangly guitar passage to this bright set of horns that kind of sound like Black Country New Road just a little bit from their last album. And there's a heavy wall of distortion on the back end that makes me feel like I'm coming out of this euphoric state. The song Seagirl unfortunately drags here, and I do wish there was like more chemistry between Archie and Raveena. It just feels like the vocals don't really complement each other here at all. The song Our Vacuum basically paints the picture of this very heartbreaking emotional distance between him and a lover. It's definitely very, very grim in terms of its symbolism here. You definitely feel this disconnect is just gaping as the track progresses, where Archie says, "This so empty, this space, heavy on my plate, between us is a grave far away." Jesus. And the way the track continues just becomes more concerning. And the title track here basically symbolizes how Archie is just sinking deeper. You're definitely getting the feel that he is not okay and he's sinking. He is definitely not only sinking, but he's also rejecting any assistance given to him whatsoever. The song When Vanishing has like these beautiful set of strings, very somber, very forlorn, and this very raw saxophone playing where you could feel and hear the guy blowing into the saxophone as he plays. And Only Warmth, I won't spoil the ending for you, but you definitely get the conclusion of where the theme of this album is heading, what the space actually is. It's very revealing and very compelling when you actually sink your teeth into it and grasp what's going on here. Like the way it's reflective within the lyrics, with the way it's reflective within the theme, with space. Once you find out what it is, it hits pretty hard. Now, I do wish the last track had more of a compelling finish. I do feel it kind of loses where it's supposed to go a little bit. I do wish there was a bit of a build. But overall, with the exception of a few tracks on here, I think this album's great. I feel like King Krule has really outdone themselves here with these philosophical, grim poeticisms on this album. Delivered very effectively, and definitely having a knack for the structure here, a knack for build, and definitely dominating when it comes to minimalism here. Delivered so strongly, so effectively, and Archie's vocals have definitely improved too, and I love that. And I'm excited for what they're gonna do next. I love this album. I'm feeling a blackest of 4 out of 5 hearts on this album. Yes. Blackest of 4 out of 5 hearts. But that's just my opinion. If you've given this album a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why'd you hate it? And that's it. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Caspa, Gothic Ghost, King Krule, Space Heavy. Till we meet again.